The Arctic's been changing more rapidly than anywhere else on the planet due to climate change. There's been a 40% reduction in sea ice extent in the summers since the 1970s. There's been a lot of questions about whether or not this is man-made global warming or whether there's some natural variability. And in this study we've aimed to try and separate those two components out a little bit and try and understand what the sources of variability are and how much they've affected the observations that we see. This was work that was conducted at the Japanese Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology with my collaborators there, and I've subsequently continued the work here in Reading. We investigated two potential sources of variability in sea ice. One called the Arctic Oscillation, which we found moves sea ice around, but it doesn't actually affect the sea ice extent very much, like the total amount of ice. And we also investigated another one called the Atlantic Multidecadal Oscillation. We found that both in the observations and in the climate models we looked at, this had quite a dramatic effect. And over the course of the observations that we've had, this 80-year oscillation has been in a warming phase, moving from cold temperatures to warm temperatures. We put a figure on this. We find that between 5 and 30% of the decrease in sea ice we've seen is due to the AMO. That's a fair amount to be attributed to natural causes. On the other hand, it implies that 70 to 95% of the changes are essentially caused by human-induced global change. We can use our understanding to improve predictions of sea ice in the Arctic, both for next summer and potentially for decades in the future. This will help the scientific community who need to know about ice conditions in order to figure out how the Arctic ecosystem is going to respond to climate change. But it's also important for shipping companies and other industries which are quickly moving into the Arctic.